Hey everybody, Nancy here from American Pet Professionals. Happy Tuesday and welcome back to another episode of Digging into the Pet Industry. We are live here on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. So wherever you are watching from, thank you for being here. And if you're listening to our podcast, I'm really excited that you're listening to the podcast as well. So I'm thrilled to have a special guest, our next guest for APP member, Michael Caruso of Raptor Shield on today. Hey, Michael, nice to see you.
Hi, Nancy. How are you?
I'm good.
Thank
How
you
are
for
you?
having me on. I really appreciate this.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to have you on. So, Michael, you've been a member for a while,
Yes, I
and
have.
you have, which we appreciate. And I know you have a very unique pet product, probably more unique than any other pet product out there. So, here on Digging into the Pet Industry, we dig right in. So, I want to know your journey into the pet industry came from kind of a scary experience with your dog. Can you tell
Yes.
us about that?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I can't take the credit. It was my brother's little dog. Uh, he was walking his Yorkie. She's 11 pounds. And he had her on a long leash. And a hawk came in, and this was 9 years ago. The
Wow.
hawk came in and grabbed his dog and tried to fly away with her. Thank God he had her on the long leash. But he went over there and knocked the bird of prey off the hawk, and uh, then he called me and he says, "Is there anything out there?" Which I thought he was crazy. I never heard of anything like this before,
Right.
and I'm more computer literate than he was, and I've had more social media experience, and I had owned a magazine and everything else. But regardless of all of that, and I started doing some searching, and then I found how you know prevalent it was in a lot of different areas. And he said, "Well, let's design something." So we put our heads together, and of course, when you start out, you don't really understand it too much, and your marketing and your which way to go, and you start with a little website, and you know things escalated from there, and we had to continue to improve the shield because everybody knows there's so many different sized dogs, and even at the same weight, their bodies are longer, they're different structures, so you really have to do your manufacturing where you get this to where it's going to fit basically every dog in a certain pound range. And but we found this material, and it's a very lightweight 20 gauge polycarbonate, which is the same material that they use for making bulletproof glass. And with that, we of course we insulated it, and we have it heat shaped for your dog, and we have a protection for the neck area, and now have a built-in harness for it too, because
Oh,
people
wow.
were always complaining,
Yeah,
"Oh, I
yeah,
want to
once it's
walk my
covered.
dog with this, and I want to put it on a leash." And before we were more apt to, this is for your dog to run around and play in the yard. And we
Yeah.
were concerned too. We didn't want anybody tying their pet to a pole, which some people do,
Mhm.
and not people that really love their pets don't do that, but some do, and we were concerned about that, so we didn't put the leash connector on. But now we have it on, and just for the purpose of they want to walk their dogs, and making it a harness style keeps them more safe and protected. They can't escape out of the shield.
Right. Let
And
let me just backtrack a little bit. So
sure.
because I'm not sure if anybody watching totally understands what the product is because we
Oh,
didn't say that yet.
well, I said, she was attacked by a bird of prey, a hawk.
Right.
Yeah. So, this material that we made for it is puncture proof. So the talons, the claws on the bird of prey cannot grab your pet.
Mhm.
We researched, talked to a lot of environmentalists, conservationists, medical doctors, veterinarians, and they say 98% of the time the hawk will come down on the back of their prey and grab them. And your red-tailed hawk is not going to fly away with a 7 or 8 pound, 9 pound dog, but there has been instances where they've grabbed them and dragged them miles.
Yeah.
Even if they don't, or do their nasty thing right there.
Yeah.
But uh, there's been a lot of little 5, 6 pound dogs that just disappeared.
Yeah.
So, in the recording aspect of things, they can't determine where did my dog go. But again, if you do some research, as we did, and me being in business now for 9 years, this happens pretty frequently, and especially today, because, like I was telling you earlier, their land's been taken away. From fires, government, what have you, and the bird population is just increasing.
Yeah.
And owls are very dangerous at night. A lot of owl attacks, a lot of hawk attacks. Eagles, yes, we've had our shield attacked by an eagle on a schnauzer, and the dog was 11 pounds, and saved the dog's life. And
Wow.
also a coyote attack, which saved the dog's life. And we're with coyotes, that's another thing too. We're very honest here at Raptor Shield. We don't want anybody to have false preferences on this is 100% guarantee. There's nothing that's 100% guarantee when you're dealing with wild animals. You could put your pet in a bubble or lock them in a cage, sure, but to let them run around free and do what animals like to do, play, run free, then we invented this shield. And for being 9 years in business, we haven't had one incident where we lost a pet or was injured in any way. So
That's
we're
amazing.
very proud for that.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Right. And the whole thing is, we're here to save little pets. And, I have top veterinarians that are sponsoring our product, and they love it. And, they recommend us highly in a lot of different areas. So, we're happy with it.
That's amazing. So the shield helps protect dogs. Does it also help? Can you put on a cat, a chicken? Is it really just a dog?
It's funny you ask that, because I have people call me with chickens, and they have wings. So no, we'd have to design something completely different.
Right.
As far as cats, good question. We've had a couple people buy them for their cats, but as well as I do, cats aren't too, they're very finicky.
Yeah.
They don't like anything on their back, and they're gonna escape out of anything. They're escape artists. And if your cat is very docile and very calm, and it might wear it, but then again, it's not an outside cat, if that's the
right.
And a lot of people have their cats are inside cats. But if you have an outside cat, I would say, yes, you could try, but I'm not, going to say it's going to wear it.
Right. So let me ask you this about the shield. So it's made out of the polycarbonate. Did I say that correct?
20 gauge polycarbonate.
Okay.
Right.
So do you have different size? I know you have small dogs, but do you have from the teeny tiny, teacup dog to a 15, 20 pound dog?
We start out at 2 to 3 pounds.
Okay.
And then we go to there from 3.5 to 6 pounds for our small. We have extra small and then small. Okay. And then our medium is up 6 pounds to 12 pounds. And then we have a large shield, which goes up to 22 pounds. And that's 13 to 22. And, we sell a lot of large shields, I think mainly for the coyote factor.
Yeah.
But, there's been, like I told you before, I've been around the block here, and a lot of dogs have been attacked by, that were 20 pounds. Not that they lifted them, carried them away, but they put huge puncture wounds into their back. And, if they hit an artery, it's very, very, very dangerous. And, and then the medical bills are, astronomical, when you have to bring them in and sew them up, and the infection and everything else.
Yeah.
I love birds of prey. They're beautiful animals, owls, hawks, eagles, whatever have you. And they don't understand the difference between a chicken or a Pomeranian or, a Chihuahua or a rabbit. They just, they're hungry, and they're going to do what they got to do to feed their young or feed themselves. Now, with that said, our shield doesn't have any spikes on it or anything else. So there's no harm that will come to that bird of prey. It hits the shield, it bounces off, it flies away, and everybody's happy.
Yeah.
And that's what we liked about it too, because, we don't want to, we want the dog to be safe, and we want the birds of prey to be safe.
I love that. And, years ago, I lived on the east end of Long Island. And when I first moved out there, one of the local pet store owners, I have big dogs, but she had little dogs, chihuahuas and stuff. Yeah. I was out there, I moved in Christmas time, December. And she said to me, do you know that a dog just got picked up by a hawk out here in this lady's backyard? Because it was the Hamptons. People have massive yards, right? So I was
Sure.
like, what do you mean a hawk pick? I had never heard of that before. And she was the first person that told me that. I was like, oh my God. And now, I'm back in suburbia, quote unquote, and there are birds of prey all over Long Island. And like you said, I love them too. It's great to see. I have
Right.
a big dog, but I don't have to worry about it. But a lot of people have little dogs. So
Hmm.
when you were coming up with the product, how did you figure like the sculpting and design and all of that for the product?
Well, we wanted something that was going to be comfortable, and we didn't want to put them in a bodysuit or an armor suit, and you have to look at temperatures too.
Yeah.
If it's 90 degrees, 100 degrees in Arizona, how long could your dog put on this product and be able to run around and play? Now, naturally, you have to have common sense, but we have a liner inside the shield that absorbs heat and is also
Okay.
good in the cold weather. But again, it weighs 4 ounces. I have the shield right
Yeah,
here.
let's see it.
Yeah, and this is it. It's got
Very
a
cool.
rear extender for longer dogs that
Huh.
comes down here, and this is a medium size.
Oh, I
This
see.
is
It's
this
really
goes up to
flexible.
12 pounds.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we decided customers, be with them, associate with them, discuss things with them. It helps you and it helps you grow in your business. There's no questions asked. You want to return it. There you go. Bam, done.
Yeah.
We don't, we take it, like I told you before, personal because it happened to us. But,
Yeah.
um, you know, uh, when someone calls and says, my dog was attacked and it's all bleeding all over and blah,
Aw.
blah, 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 I'm not going to tell them, well, you should have got a Raptor Shield, but no, we're very considerate. We're very helpful. Like I said, we'll do an exchange for a year. I had a guy call me the other day. My dog grew out of the Shield and he's had the Shield for a month and a half. I said, don't worry about it. I will send you another one with a return package. And, so it's really a good feeling when you get a letter or a note from somebody and they say so many good things about your customer service. And, that is so important. And, it's not all about the money.
Right.
It really
Well,
isn't.
that's not why you invented it, right? You wanted to find this a product to help save the dog, your brother's dog that got attacked, and how can we solve this problem? And I
Yeah.
love that you created the solution. So,
Yes.
where can people find the Raptor Shield? Do you sell it? Is it B2B? Do you sell in retail stores? How do people find it?
It's on Amazon. We're
Okay.
on Amazon Canada and of course, United States Amazon.
Okay.
We were in Brazil and we were in Australia. I shut that down because the shipping costs,
Yeah.
after COVID, turned
Yeah.
out to be a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're paying as much as the Shield. So, through our website, we have that option. I cut the shipping costs down a little bit for them. So if Australia and they still do United Kingdom and they all order from through the website.
Hmm.
But we do have Canada. We're shipping on Amazon in the U.S. of course, And then our website, we have a professional website that's almost like an Amazon site, which really helps. And, as far as marketing goes, I learned that, you don't want to spend a lot of money in marketing. You want to go out to pet networks such as yours. You have a fantastic network. Look
Oh,
at this.
thank you.
You're going out to so many different people and giving them these solutions to their whatever issue they might have, whether it be social media marketing or, whatever. But anyway, very informative. So thank you.
Well, thank you. No, but I think it's really great that you have that customer service and that people can get it on your website. They can get it on Amazon. And it's something to think about. We've had a very warm winter here in New York. So you're seeing more and more birds of prey flying around. But sometimes, like, we had a cold snap and all of the normal areas that you would see eagles or hawks in looking for food have been frozen, right? Like the lakes are frozen and stuff like that.
Sure.
I actually am in a Facebook group and all these amazing photographers for one of the bald eagles, and a bald eagle is lifting up a pretty big goose. She struggled with it, right? The goose, she could not get it. The goose finally got away.
What was it?
A bald eagle trying to pick up a Canadian goose, and those are big birds, right?
Okay, yes.
So she struggled with it, but then there was another one because everything was frozen of the eagle catching a duck, and of course you're like, oh, the poor duck, but they couldn't get to the normal fish and the eels that they're always eating, right? So they'll go for smaller animals, and I always think when I see a smaller dog, especially out on that retractable leash, kind of like Daisy was, when the dog is 30 feet away, whether it's another dog coming, if it's a birds of prey, you don't have that protection when it's stretched all the way out. And I don't think people really think about that. So having that added layer of the Raptor Shield will definitely help.
Oh, God, yes. And Nancy, I got to tell you this story. And I was shocked myself when the lady called me and she says, I was holding my dog because I seen the hawk flying around. She goes, I picked her up and held her in my arms. And the hawk was so aggressive, it gashed her head open.
Oh, my God.
She goes, do you sell a Raptor helmet? It was funny.
That's the next product.
That hawk was, it was, they're relentless. They're going to go for what they have to go for. And,
wow.
After talking with these experts in the field, they come in at a 90, 100 miles per hour.
Wow.
There's no way you're gonna protect your little dog if you're 5 feet away.
Yeah.
They're so fast. It happens.
They're fast, and people don't realize that birds of prey have immaculate eyesight. They can see you really, really far. So if you have an acre of property and your 6-pound chihuahua is at the, running towards a fence line and you're a couple hundred feet away, like, you're not going to get to that dog in time. So adding
now they're being so bold is they sit right on the fence in these people's backyards.
Yeah.
And all these people are sending me pictures. Look at him. He's sitting there waiting for my dog. I'm like, and she goes, well, let me put out decoys, owls and little flying shiny things and this. I said, that's great. I said, do that. That's very good. But you have to move them around. You can't leave them in that one spot. After a month, they figure it out. They know it's fake, and they're going to come in and they're going to grab your pet regardless. Yeah.
You see those fake owls on buildings and the birds are like hanging out by them. I'm like, they know the gig is up. That thing's not moving.
Right.
I will tell you that I think it was like around this time last year, I was walking my dog and we were kind of in an open area and there was a red-tailed hawk circling. And I was like, my dog's 70 pounds, but it was circling and circling and circling and getting closer. And I'm like, looking around to see if there was like a rabbit or a squirrel or anything near us. And I was like, I think that thing was circling us. I'm like, you're not going to be able to get him off the ground, but I didn't even want him to come near us. So it's really great that you invented this product. Let me ask you this. What was your biggest challenge when you were creating the product?
Biggest challenge was finding the manufacturers. You see, we didn't want to have it made in China. We wanted to have it here in the U.S. So
made in USA. Okay, that's great.
And if you go to a one-stop shop where, we'll do the whole product, we'll do the sewing on it, and we'll get the plastic, and we'll get your margin then drops dramatically because instead of it costing me $50 to make, now it's costing me $65 to make. So when I sell it to the people, my retail cost, it's way up.
Yeah.
So if I sell it wholesale, you're making a minimal amount. And, then you have to go into high marketing. It's just like, people ask, well, why aren't you in Petco? Why aren't you in PetSmart? Why aren't you, in Walmart? Yeah, that would be fantastic. But now, when Petco and Walmart and everybody else wants your product to put it in their stores, you're talking about your fees, your manufacturing fees are going to go up dramatically.
Yeah.
With very little margin, and that was the most difficult part of the startup.
Yeah.
Is figuring out what, how, and when. Now I decided that I want this to be strictly an online business. I don't want to be in Petco because you're basically opening Pandora's box when you do that. And they could bankrupt you very easily. I'm not saying that they're bad in any way.
Well, it's just like the amount that they want to order, right? For each store. Say that you're all of a sudden in all the Petcos or all the chain stores, whoever it is.
Yes.
Then you have to have that amount to order. So this way you keep, by doing it the way you're doing it, for anybody that's listening that is thinking of launching a product, it's really good advice because you're not always going to be able to get into all those stores and have the wherewithal to do that and have that ready to ship out to them in the pallets and all of that.
Exactly, Nancy. Yeah. I mean, you have to have very deep pockets if you do that, because especially if you do a Walmart thing where you're on consignment, and you're talking about millions and millions of dollars. And if you have that, fantastic, go for it, But we didn't, we started out with basically just our wits and what my little knowledge was of the pet industry. And now I met so many fascinating people, such as you, and it just keep continuing to grow. And but the worst thing was, and the hardest thing starting up was finding people like you, finding the social media avenue, little things that creating videos and doing things where it's not. When I first started, making a video cost me $5,000. Well, now you could do them for $75. Simple,
or on your phone for nothing. I mean,
well,
I was a TV producer, and for a company to make a 30-second commercial, our minimum was like $50K back in the day, because it was like out, 2-3 days of shooting and everything that went into it. It was a lot of money in expenses. Now it doesn't cost that much. It's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
And then with Amazon, God help you, because you better know what you're doing when you get on Amazon, because they are very unique in their processing system, with their optimizing and getting your SEOs in place and building your website on Amazon. And you have to hire people for that unless you're very knowledgeable about Amazon. I had to hire people.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just too much. And I still have a guy today that helps me with my, optimizing and things like that.
But that's a really good point,
B2B.
because a lot of people, when they have a product or starting their new business, they don't necessarily want to hire people. They want to figure it out on their own. So you need to hire the people that are experts in that to help your business take off.
Right. But, after you hire them and you get the business started, then you can, branch down a little bit. You can find a guy from, somewhere where he has that knowledge and he's charging you now $200 a month.
Right.
Instead of $900 a month, because it adds up and that money goes out the window real fast.
It sure does. Yeah.
And your sales are your sales, and you want to hire, you want to do your own social media, or you want to, pick and find and choose where you want to put your product. And, we were targeting small dogs. Okay. But now I said, well, you can't just target small dogs. You got to target all dogs, because you might have your big dogs, but again, you might have a little 5-pound Yorkie.
Yeah.
So, and if you saw this, you would be, you'd be interested. So we kind of go after everything. But, as far as advertisement, we were on Home and Garden TV, we were on Fox News, we were on NBC, we were on Good Morning America, and, just little short clips. But it kind of helped bring the awareness out. And that's the whole thing. Bring the awareness out in your product. Go on shows like yours. Do things that are going to, let people, talk about your product. And when they hear the name of the product, they're going to respond to it, if needed or not.
Yeah, and you can't get any clearer than Raptor Shield, right?
Oh yeah, I know, right? But people. I've had some comments where, okay, a dinosaur is going to get my shield. And I'm like, no. But I love the name. I love the product, and again, because it's so lightweight, it weighs nothing, and so some dogs get a little freaked out. I'm going to say that.
Yeah, what
They'll
is
put
the advice to give to a new customer that has a dog that maybe doesn't like wearing clothing or like my
right.
dog now loves clothing, but the dog before that hated clothing.
R-
So,
Exactly.
yeah.
That's a situation where what's more important? This you could train your dog to wear it.
Hmm.
Okay, it might take you a week, couple
Yep.
weeks, but you could train your dog. And the simple way is to you put it on. If they stand there, you take it off and you give them a treat. And training is everything in any dog. And there's different personalities in all dogs. And
Yep.
some of them, my brother actually, Daisy passed away, natural causes,
No.
but she was 17. She
Oh,
could wait.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but he got another dog, a poodle, right? And the poodle is like 12 pounds, and put the shield on him, and he just stands there, But he eventually trained him to do that, to wear the shield. But he was out in the woods, and I swear to God, another hawk came down on his poodle, and he didn't have the shield
Oh,
on his
no.
poodle, Zeke. And I'm like, oh, that would have been a good one. Yeah, owners of Raptor Shields dogs have been taken by a hawk,
Oh, my gosh.
But I mean, twice it happened to you, and here in Elmhurst, Illinois, I'm like, oh my God, So
That's so crazy.
yeah, I know.
Oh, my gosh.
It's really something to hear all the different stories, sad and good, But you know what? We're helping people. We're making people feel more comfortable about their little fur ball, and it's very rewarding. It is.
That's awesome. I know you said earlier that you had a lot of reviews on Amazon of people that have bought the product.
Right, up to 500 right now.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah,
So that right there just shows, proof of what your product does for all those reviews because that's a lot of reviews to get from people for prep product that not everybody necessarily needs, right? You might have different pet or a big giant dog that doesn't need that. So
right.
so it's really interesting. And before we go, is there anything that I didn't ask you about that you would like to share about Raptor Shield?
Yeah, I would just like to say that we want to continue to grow for the people, and we want to continue to bring out more things to keep pets safe, and uh, even going places and donating. We've already given hundreds of shields out to pet places, Asbuck or whatever, and we like to help people out and do things is the best way we can for them, and again, when you call us or you order a product, you're guaranteed the best customer service ever because we stand behind it 100%, and we'll work with every customer. So other than that, no, that's about it. You just keep plugging away here and come. I'm going to try. I'm actually designing right now. I have a new product and for the safety feature and uh, same type of product, and we're going to be moving forward with that too. But it's all about safety. It's all about protecting our little pets, and there's something that it's a nightmare when I hear these stories and
Yeah.
when it's too late. So,
Oh,
be proactive, do your research, study. You have people in Tennessee, they're carrying a shotgun, and that's that's not good. You're not going to be fast enough for
no.
one, but it's just crazy. It really is. But
Yeah.
and then there's people, it ain't going to happen to my pet. You know, and it might not,
Yep.
but it's that might thing that, if it does, then you got a problem. If it doesn't, God bless you, And 20 years ago, I would have said the same thing. My dog doesn't need it.
Yeah.
But, and if you don't study it and don't realize it and don't understand it, and you have a dog that's under 12 pounds, even 20 pounds for that matter, and you're worried about coyotes, hawks, eagles, and you're in a high area in the woods or you see them around, they're targeting your dog. So
Yep.
I would just say do your homework, be careful, and call Raptor Shield.
And with that, first of all, I really appreciate what you do and that your main focus is on the protection of the dogs because your
Yes.
heart shows that you really want to protect the dogs and have people's pets be safe with Raptor Shield. So I appreciate that. But
Yes.
where can people connect with you? Where can they find you?
Well, they can go to Raptor Shield on Amazon, or they can go to our website at www.raptorshield.com.
Awesome. And we'll put
And
that in the comments also.
yes, yeah. And like I said, do you have any questions, comments, or anything you need to talk to me? Reach out. We're here.
All right, Michael. Well, thank you so much for being on Digging into the Pet Industry today and for doing what you do. Everybody go check out Raptor Shield and keep those small pups safe while you're out there walking your dogs. I
Thank you,
will
Nancy.
thank
Love your
you.
show. Thank you.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Bye
Take
bye.
care, everybody.